Hi, this is Charles. I'm doing my research wrap up gatekeeper, and I'm going to be going kind of back and forth through these just to make sure I get everything. So, the first one, outcome, on I can utilize different research tactics. First, I'm going to be talking about Google search and how I can read laterally and research laterally. This was learned through the John Green crash course, and a really cool method that I found really useful for checking sources and finding out about why the author wrote it and what his hidden biases and what his point of view is coming from. That isn't always uh, present on the single article. Next, I'm going to talk about how I learned how to do library databases. So I emailed the librarian Pamela Fisher, and she was super helpful. And I was kind of intimidated at first emailing her about something that I was working on because it didn't seem very significant. But she was super helpful, and that's one way I learned. And then also my Each One Teach One down here is about how to use the library databases. And in this one, I talked about the nursing database. I forgot what it's called, and it's a journal nursing database and how to use that. And then another form of research that I just learned how to do is called well, it's surveys, and I learned that in fieldwork. And this is where I made a survey on Google Forms, and I sent it to a lot of people to get uh, just answers from them. I still think there's response bias because of my sample size is too small. So right now I'm working on spreading this survey to more people and getting more views. So here are my research stops. We're supposed to go through 7 of them from a research journey. This is a reflection. This is research stop 9, field work. This is feedback for the class. This is about deep reading and rhetorical reading. This is how I annotated since I don't have access to a printer, but get back to that. A reading for credibility. Uh, Here's an academic source. Another academic source, power of feedback, talking about uh, my MLA paper, academic summary. Research stop 4, and I think that's more than 7, but we'll keep going. Here's research stop 3. This is about friendly sources that aren't necessarily academic sources that we could use. Yeah, that's I think that was 10 of them. 7 posts. Complete critical thinking of academic text. Okay, yes. So this is going to critical reading skills, annotations, and notes. So this is my stop 7B. For this, I don't have access to a printer. So instead, I use a rhetorical reading chart for my deep reading, and really went through all of the rhetorical situations, the appeals, the strengths, the modes, the medias, the purpose, elements of the genre, the style of the writing and the sources, even the design. I really dive into what the author is using and how the author uses his or her words to get the point across. And this is just critical thinking and how I took apart the article. And then active reading slowed down. This one kind of confused me a little bit because I went to week 8. And I never saw an active slowed down reading. And so what I think that is talking about, so I'll pull up the actual assignment that I think it is, and then I'd love to get some feedback if I'm reviewing the right topic or not. But this is week 8, and the assignment is active slowed down reading. So what I understood this as the active or slowed down reading was that could be the deep reading and the critical reading. So that's what I'm going to cover. So the deep reading was my rhetorical reading chart, and this is where I broke down what I just talked about a couple seconds earlier, and how I talk about rhetorical situations, choice, the purpose of the article, kind of why she wrote it, and the target audience that they're communicating to. Go through rhetorical appeals and how she engages readers through, in this case, first-person pronouns and in a very personal voice. Modes and Media is published through a research database, and it's to inform and be educational, and it increases the credibility and professionalism of the piece. Yeah, elements of the genre is there's a lot of questions asked, a lot of thought-provoking questions, and one thing she does as an author is reference other thoughts of work and other some of her peers. All my posts include clear titles, which make it really easy. All my research stops are easy to find, and they have a title about the stop and a little more specific. Include clear titles. Let's see. Yeah, I'll use this as an example for clear titles. It has this summaries, a response of how I responded to the article. Quote sandwiches. In the article, the paradox of horror, little quote sandwich right there. This is updated thinking and question. Here's my works cited in MLA format. And I can complete research, do active reading, response, and more blog posts. Yeah, I think I feel really comfortable with this blog format. Through reading for credibility and lateral reading, I can cite my sources really well and do active reading through this rhetorical reading chart, which I found very helpful to dive more into the ideas of what the author is talking about and the perspective that he or she is writing. Lateral reading. So for this assignment, I chose to do John Green's TED Talk about, or crash course, about lateral reading. And I found it really interesting about how important this is and how undertaught this is. And I never really laterally read about articles. I take them as true. And I see how I am part of the problem, which was kind of eye-opening. And yeah, I found it very helpful to leave a website to do further outside research. Yep. Best in show. Okay. I think the best in show I'm going to do is my academic summary. The characteristics of academic writing I wrote in this: I have no first person pronouns. I have no personal thoughts. I come at this from an objective view. And it is MLA format, which is all the same font size and font type. I have correct indentations. I have my last name with a page number on top and a header on both the pages. And I correctly introduce with sandwich quotes talking about the author and his full name at first, and then throughout the paper only referring to him in his last name, with a short summary at the end of the first sentence that talks about what the paper is going to be about. There's no grammar errors, and this is for the most part in my own words, except a small quote right here. MLA. Oh. And then here's my works cited in MLA. His last name first, and then his first name with the title of the TED Talk and a link. And it would be in alphabetical order, but there is only one works cited. Connections. I use words, intro words like next, first, next, and finally to introduce the paragraph. Make connections between your ideas and the source. So this is a summary, so there's not many connecting of my ideas, but I think this sentence, after he sets the realization of importance of sleep into you, he says, "This is the best news I have for you today." I think this sums up his TED Talk and connects, putting into my own words the idea of what his TED Talk is about and using his own words at the same time. It's questions and insights. Okay. Let's see here. Some of my comments for others. Here's Steffi's. This is about her sharing her greetings from the library and her interaction with a librarian. And I was relating to her how shocked and fast, and just talking about how I was intimidated on the whole process, and how I'll definitely use the librarians as a resource in the future. And I was really surprised. This is talking about the CRAP tests and how I think it was the most valuable for me, and how I love her ideas on anxiety and depression, because I personally come from a family background and a personal background of mental illness, anxiety, and depression. So I thought it was really exciting to see that Anna was writing about that, and I'm really looking forward to what else she has to write. This is on Kiara, I think her name is, and it's talking about how surprising it was to find out how bad my grammar was after downloading Grammarly, and what I struggle most with is commas, and she has the same problem, so I was kind of connecting on that front. And